If you're struggling with focus right now, then this video is for you. I want to talk a little bit about mindset and how to actually get stuff done and make money online, because a lot of people ask me questions about it and I haven't really had a good answer, but I want to walk through an amazing framework that I just found that walks through exactly how to do it. This is going to be a little bit different from the regular AI art and Etsy videos, but bear with me. I think you guys will really like it. So this is a post from a couple weeks ago by Sharon Srivata, an amazing business person who has had multiple billion-dollar companies. And he posted this the other day, and I just want to make a video about it and sort of how you could apply it to your life, how I've applied it to my life. And yeah, I just think I found it really helpful, so I wanted to share it. So let's read what he posted. A focused average person will always outperform a distracted genius. All right, so that's his little opening line, but there's a lot of value packed in there. A focused average person will always outperform a distracted genius. All right, I love that. You could be Albert Einstein, the most intellectual person in the world, but if your motivation slowly starts to dwindle and you get more interested in playing video games or watching Netflix or whatever it is, or maybe it's just like going out to get drinks and just like not building anything or not working on a business with, which by the way, like do whatever you want. But if you're distracted, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you will not achieve anything outside of what you're working on. So I think about this like your character personality has two sliders. And I heard this from Hormozy and I love it, so I want to mention it here. You have determination as one slider and intelligence as another slider. So let's say you have max intelligence, right? And determination is max. Very quickly, if I start lowering your determination, it doesn't really matter how smart you are. You're not really going to do anything. You know, you might just want to sit on the couch or drink or go out and party or do whatever you want to do. That no matter how smart you are, you're not going to achieve anything, right? Even if you have these big, lofty dreams of income or whatever it is, like getting a relationship, whatever it might be, if your determination starts to fall from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70 to 60, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are. Or if you're a genius, you're distracted, you're not going to work on something that actually moves the ball forward, and that just won't do you any good in the long term if your goal is to move the ball forward and achieve something. Now, a focused average person, on the other hand, maybe their intelligence is like right here. Maybe it's 60, maybe it's 50, maybe it's 40, right? It's definitely not 100. But guess what? If their determination is at 100, it doesn't matter. Maybe they have to read the same book as some other person 5 times instead of once to get it, but they're willing to do it 5 times. And then they're already on to the second book or the second seminar or masterclass or course guide online for how to make money in some given trade, right? You can still move faster than the distracted genius, like 100 times faster if you're determined and focused. Okay, so that's just that opening line. Banger line. Here's what kills focus. Chasing every opportunity, starting before you finish, saying yes when you should say no, perfecting instead of progressing. So let's break down each of these one by one. Chasing every opportunity will absolutely kill your focus. That is the dream killer. Because you can chase all your dreams, but if you chase all of them, you'll never accomplish any of them, right? But if you just chased one, you could 100% accomplish it, and it'd probably happen even faster than you expect. Right? You can change your life in like 2 years if you just focus on one thing. 100% seriously. That's not a guarantee, but I've seen it happen, and it happened for me, and I really think it's, yeah. You just have to focus on one thing. You can't spread your attention, okay? Starting before you finish, that's very similar. You're not done with one thing yet. You could still dive deeper and deeper and deeper, because the money and the success and all that stuff usually comes from depth rather than spread or breadth, right? Like you got to go deep before you can go wide, because the depth is where you actually get the little like, oh, actually here's the secret, or like here's the kind of like the insider info for how to actually do well, better than just sort of like the surface area strategies and stuff like that. So yeah, finish what you start before you start the next thing, right? And that might be a 2-year project, right? Whatever you're doing before it actually starts like becoming a real thing. And maybe at that point you don't want to finish. Maybe you want to just keep it going. So great point there. Saying yes when you should say no. Similar thing. Sometimes if someone's like, oh my gosh, I was just trading Ethereum and it totally like 2x'd. Wow, I just made $5,000. Like, that doesn't, I mean, to each their own, but in my opinion, that doesn't mean I should totally take all the money out of my current business and put it into Ethereum, right? You got to stick with what works. You got to go deep, okay? You can't be shallow on a bunch of different, you can't be shallow on 5 different things, because you'll never see those compounding returns. Like, human beings are really bad at evaluating compounding. It just like doesn't make sense in our brains. We can get like 1 banana plus 2 bananas equals 3 bananas, right? But if it's like your banana has compound interest and every year it adds 20%, like that just doesn't make sense in our brains. But it's actually how the world works. And you can think about it like a tree or something, or like vines, you know, those like houses that are just like totally overtaken with vines. That's what compounding is. One turns into many, and each of those many keeps growing like exponentially, right? So there's like a visual for you. And you can, like, that's how deep you can get. You get like, you plant one little sapling and you're like, oh, I want it to like engulf this house with vines. Oh, but I also want to like cut it in half and repot it over here and put it next to this house. It's like, it's never gonna engulf a given house into vines if you keep like cutting it in half and like starting from scratch. So again, just with the focus thing, focus on one thing, and then perfecting instead of progressing is killing focus. 100%. Just go and do and fail. What's the quote? It's like you need to fail before you can win. You need to fail before you can win. And so you should see failure as a preliminary stepping stone. It is the win. Like, that means you're going to win. Again, like, I'm not going to guarantee your success, right? That's all up to you. But if you're seeing failures, it means you're on the right track. If you're not seeing failures, you're probably on the wrong track. And maybe things are too comfortable or too secure that you're not going to grow anywhere, right? It's like your muscles. Like, you got to break the muscle fibers in order to get them to grow. And it's painful and hard and uncertain. There's risk involved with it. But focusing on perfection will 100% keep you stuck instead of just starting with incomplete information, right? That's what I did with AI art. I'm like, I think this is a good business. It seems like some people are doing it, but I don't really know. Started it, boom. Got to $3,000 a month within my first year. So, yeah. And I 100% did not have complete information. I saw like 2 videos on it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go for it. Obviously, then I built the automation system, and now there's a lot more guides and videos now. A lot of them came from me, but yeah, you just got to start, okay? Every distraction isn't just time lost, it's momentum killed. Stop trying to do everything. Start doing the right things consistently. Nailed it. That is just absolutely the epitome of all this stuff. Like, you just have to do the right things consistently and stop doing the wrong things. But those are sort of like, we're saying the same thing there. Focus on the priorities, do them consistently, like equal sign profit, right? So this is what I wanted to walk through in this video. I love this from Sharon. Focus, right? I love acronyms. Let's walk through it really quick. Focus beats talent when talent doesn't focus. Back to the intelligence versus determination scales, right? Talent doesn't, you know, and in fact, I heard this from Grit, Angela Duckworth. It's a really amazing book if you haven't read it. Essentially, skill equals talent times effort, and achievement is skill times effort, right? So effort is counted twice in the equation. You can get to skill faster. I mean, let's walk through it, right? So skill equals effort times talent. Okay? So if you're really talented, you probably don't have to work that hard and you can get some really great skills, right? Whether that's in pickleball or basketball or business or negotiating or sales or whatever it might be, presenting. Now, achievement, which is using your skill to get some outcome, equals skill times arrow effort. So effort gets counted twice. So even if you're super talented, you put a little bit of effort in, you get some skill, that goes here. You still have to put in effort with that skill in order to get achievement, right? You could be incredibly gifted on the guitar, right? So you don't have to put in much effort. You have a ton of skill. But even then, so you had to put in a little bit of effort to practice, and then you have to put in more effort to like monetize that or create records, right? You got to go into the studio and record your songs. Like, it's all effort. And the cool thing is, even if you have no talent whatsoever, you're completely talentless, like, how amazing. You can still get amazing skill by just working your butt off, and you can just work your butt off even more to get achievement. Amazing. The world is a beautiful place, and that is cool that you can do that. And if no one's told you that in your life, then maybe I can tell you it right now. But that's the common theme. The common theme among billionaires like Sharon is it's all about focus, and it's all about effort. Like, you don't need to be talented. You just need to be focused, and you kind of like create your own talent. It's crazy. So anyway, let's walk through the acronym. First is find direction, right? Choose your opportunity vehicle, find a mentor, even if it's async, like someone on YouTube, right? You can have a remote mentor who is one directional. You just consume their stuff, but it doesn't matter. You just need to find direction. And that might mean you have to go online or completely move cities or something like that. But finding direction it's one of the most key things you can do. When I started finding some of these guys online, like Hormozi and Sharon and others, it totally transformed my life, because you realize what's possible, and you start to learn the game and what matters, right? Because there's so much trash out there. Like, you got to break it down to first principles and find what actually matters and what you should actually listen to in order to reach your goal. So find direction. That's step one. Organize tasks. I would say that's more of the low level, like, what am I going to do, right? When you're starting your business, it's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to like create my website or create my Etsy shop if you're selling AI art on Etsy as digital products? Or am I going to create my first designs? Or am I going to, I guess, watch videos on how to do it first, right? Well, it doesn't have to be my stuff, right? There are a ton of good content creators on YouTube, but then turn that into action. I think that's the biggest thing here, is like, turn it into action. Because you could watch 10,000 videos and be like, oh my gosh, I know everything. I know exactly how to do it. But it's like, you haven't even posted a listing yet or like opened your shop, right? So organize your tasks, create a little to-do list, even if it's a one-shot to-do list per day, like open shop, set up a bank account or open LLC, right? Whatever you got to do. Organize your tasks, complete them daily. I can say firsthand, it is the greatest thing ever to make a little checklist and knock them out and check them off every single day. Like, especially if you have your own business, you are the CEO, head of marketing, head of sales, head of people. You are everything. So you need to create these checklists and check them off, so you realize that you're actually making progress, instead of this like big mystical cloud of, okay, like, what am I doing? I did this, but what did that even do? Like, okay. Yeah, it's just, sorry, I'm rambling, but you need to concretize, right? Like, make concrete your goals and objectives and your actions. Because, like, dude, or whoever's watching this, girl or guy, it is a business. Like, you are making progress and you are crushing. All right? So just keep going. I believe in you. Upgrade your skills. All right? As you're going, you can totally level up your skills by just doing more volume. It's crazy. Like, you don't even need to watch videos or like take a course. You'll just get better by doing it. Now you can pull the future forward and get better by watching courses and videos and finding mentors and stuff like that. But the cool thing is, like, this just happens automatically. It's like a downstream effect of just doing volume, right? And like completing your tasks. So that's pretty cool. Like, you are probably making money at the same time. So you're getting paid to learn in your business. And side note on that, you'll learn 10,000 times % more, like, in the first 2 months of your business, just whatever it is, just by doing the business, right? So if you're doing an Etsy shop, you'll learn a ton about product, sales, marketing, and then like the internals of like finance and stuff like that. But also, if you decide to start an ice cream shop, you'll learn all the same stuff. You'll learn, oh, sales and marketing are important. How do I make a good product? How do I iterate on my product? How do I spread this around with sales and marketing to other people and let people know? How do I deal with the internals, like the finances? How do I hire people, right? And that, like, you can read a bajillion books or watch a bajillion videos, but you'll learn so much more by actually just jumping in and doing it. And double whammy, I think this was also from the Grit book. Like Michelangelo, right, the famous sculptor, he, number one, created the statue of David. And so after he did that, everyone's like, wow, your statue's amazing, you're so good. But then from that point on, now he is the guy who created the statue of David. And so he has this like credibility, resume box on his list where he's actually done something, and that stays with him forever. So it's like you get like a triple whammy when you just put in volume. You get better skills, you get to say the thing that you did, and of course you actually get the result too, like the income or whatever, right? Like he got paid to make the statue of David, right? So you get paid, you get the credibility, and you upgrade your skills and you get better. And finally, S, stay consistent. Maybe the most basic but least followed of all of these, which is you just need to keep going, focus on the one thing, or like the one business, right? It is almost inevitable to get shiny object syndrome and want to jump to a completely different industry or be like, oh my gosh, I could be doing this entirely different product or business and it'd be so much easier, right? I could be doing crypto and it'd be so much easier. I don't have to do anything. It's passive. But that's a fallacy. Like, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, right? We all heard that growing up. But it's like, there's also just so many problems on that side that you don't even know about. Again, I got this from Hormozy, but it's like, if you're going up a mountain and you want to switch the path that you're going on, you have to go all the way back down before you go on the other path. And most people don't even process that. And you don't know where the other path's going to go. You might get faster to, I don't know, $3,000 a month going a different path, but maybe you're going to go way slower to 10 grand a month, right? So, and you probably could have gotten there either way if you would have just stuck with the first thing in the first place, and you would have gotten all the skills and stuff that you can take with you forever, right? So, yeah, I can't stress enough staying consistent. I have to keep my own advice sometimes, but it's paid off 110% of the time. Stay consistent, do the boring work, right? There are times where it's like boring. It's like, okay, like I want to do something fun, right? I want to like make a new feature, right? Like for the software that I'm building. But it's like, sometimes you just got to get your head in there and fix 5 bugs, right? It's like, let's go fix those bugs, right? Not fun, not a brand new like workflow or new features, but you have to get in there and do it. And the rewards are so good, because like that's where the value is, right? It doesn't matter if you have like all these shiny new features in your software. And now we're kind of transitioning to my business, but it matters that like the fundamentals are there, right? That everything works and that it actually does what it's advertised to do. Save you hundreds of hours of time by bulk uploading in the background, right? So it's like things are simpler than I think they seem. At the end of the day, it really does just come down to this: focus. Now, I will say that like finding direction and having a mentor or having like help to get started or get moving, and scaling your business, especially with like automation tools and stuff like that, that's good stuff, right? That's why I built my software and my tools, because yeah, I didn't want to just create like a course and have that be my big thing, right? I knew I could create something that actually helped people, like speed up time and buy their life back. So that's why I have what I have, and why I really would recommend it, because it's like if you're gonna sell AI art on Etsy and you want to make like $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 or more, like some of these other sellers, it's the fastest path there. I share everything I know, and you just move so much faster. So, but like at the end of the day, you do just have to stay consistent. That's the only way it's gonna work. If you're trying to do 5 things at once, it's gonna be a struggle, right? So that actually wraps it up for this video. I just wanted to cover this post because I thought it was amazing, and yeah, I know this isn't the regular Etsy AI art content, but if you do want more of that content, just check out my channel. Feel free to like or subscribe if you found this video helpful, and if you do want to get started selling AI art on Etsy or use my software to move 100 times faster, click the link in the description to get started. But I mean, at the end of the day, you just need to focus, and all your dreams will come rushing towards you faster than you could have ever anticipated. But you have to keep this in mind. every day. When you're in the shower, when you wake up, it's all about focus, right? So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.